I'm the director of Diamond Kids, which is the children's book division of Diamond Comics, the world's largest distributor of comics and graphic novels. In the short 13 months that I've been at Diamond, we've signed several fantastic new publishers, some of whom are here today. Sitting all the way to my left here is Matt Casper, born and raised in Madison, Wisconsin. He received his bachelor's degree from Duke University, where he studied psychology, religion, and film. After college, he moved to LA to pursue an acting career. He's been a working actor in LA since that time and has appeared in films such as Pearl Harbor and shows such as Desperate Housewives. He's appeared in dozens of national TV commercials. He eventually decided to combine his passion for the arts as well as psychology by earning his master's degree in marriage and family therapy and is now a psychotherapist working in Los Angeles. He's worked extensively with adults and teenagers, as well as young children who suffer from a wide range of developmental and emotional difficulties at the Julia Ann Singer Therapeutic School in Los Angeles. It was during this time that Matt began to notice the effectiveness of graphic novels and comics as a way to connect to children who have difficulty communicating on a social and emotional level. In a bit of perfect timing, it was while working with these children that Matt first met Helen Lau, the creator of the emotes. Helen created Emotes, which is a new line of books which we'll be launching in July, with the goal of helping children to identify, understand, and express their emotions. She enlisted Matt as a psychological consultant and writer to help develop comics, books, and web content for the Emotes. Together with Ted Dorsey, a non-traditional educator, Matt has co-authored the first series of 12 books and continues to create new stories to further expand the message of the Emotes.
So I began to work with children who fell somewhere on the autism spectrum, maybe some emotional, developmental challenges. And I noticed that when working with these kids and using images and using pictures, that there was a real spark and there was a real connection that I could make to them, and that allowed me to bridge sort of their world and our world. And they didn't seem as lost to me. And it was at this time that I met the creator of this series, the Emotes. It was, again, synchronicity, I believe. And really, a woman who was passionate about helping kids to really increase their emotional vocabulary, which I had been realizing for so many years, the importance of that. And I believe that comics and graphic novels and picture books, they really model for kids how to identify and understand and express their feelings, and they can actually see it. You know, these kids who have trouble with nonverbal communication and with the subtleties of communication can actually see on the page what it looks like to be angry, what it looks like to be sad. It was inspiring for me, and so I'm extremely passionate to continue working with all sorts of images. I think with the Emotes, we also have interactive website materials, and we have toys that are used, really can be used therapeutically, along with these comics, to help these kids increase their emotional vocabulary. Transitional object might be a child's blanket or the tattered stuffed animal that they sort of carry around with them, and it's really something to attach to and to help them become an independent thinker, to become someone who's aware of their own self. They're going to transition when they are ready, and I think comics and the graphic novel and whatever the visual medium can provide that for kids, especially for kids that are maybe a little scared of reading, or they're intimidated by it. It's a way for them to ease in, and they might keep reading comics forever, and that's okay too, because they will pick up something else. our first book that's coming out deals with cyberbullying, which is a really difficult problem, and it's a dangerous problem. I mean, the suicides are because of it. We've been reading that in the papers, and I think it's a great way for an educator, for a caregiver, for a parent to be able to sit down with a kid who's feeling so alone and so scared, and they think it's their fault that they're getting bullied, to really have a connection with not only with the book, but with someone who understands and respects that medium, who speaks the child's language. And I think we have to be aware of sort of having this generational bias where it's because it's important to speak the language of the kid. Comics aren't going anywhere. Just as the internet and technology isn't going anywhere. I'm actually older than I look, by the way. So I mean, I have some problem with new technology and texting. I feel there's some, you aren't really able to connect, but I think we need to embrace it. Our series does that as well. I mean, these characters live inside the internet, so we really speak their language rather than just throwing it out. And I think the kids can respond to that if they see that we respect what they enjoy. A further bond can form, and that can always be a good thing.
I heard a theory about thought bubbles in comics and how that maybe helps have some psychological impact on children. Just the theory that they see that other people think things that they don't actually say. And so I wonder, if you could speak to that, and then maybe some other psychological impacts that comics have on children.
It's a very good question. But I think, again, it's sort of seeing the nonverbal communication, which I think is what you're sort of speaking to, being able to see on the page what's behind, what's underneath the nonverbal emotional expression, so they can see in the thought bubble, okay, he really looks something. He's mad. And they can then read the words that are used to express it verbally. So there's a pairing that happens between the verbal and the nonverbal communication that I think is extremely impactful. It is a very emotional medium. I mean, again, it is very evocative, and it evokes visualization. I think for kids who are also beginning to read, and I think we forget how abstract of a concept it is. Sort of putting these letters together to form these words that, so much time is spent, I think, when young readers begin, of just sounding out the word. When they can pair this symbol, this word symbol, with an image, I think the impact becomes so much stronger, and the experience becomes so much richer. I think that they become, reading becomes so enriched because as they get older and they read books with fewer and fewer pictures and fewer thought bubbles, they really have honed this skill of visualization and of really tapping into the feeling of the words. And I think